I'm Tom DeLacy, Director of Spanish American Football Academy here in New York City. You are watching Field of Dreams on ACTN. Força! Força! Força!
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Field of Dreams on ACTN. I'm Steve David, and I'm your host. As usual, with me is my co-host Narada Wilson. Welcome, Narada.
And today, Steve, is really a special moment, so it's a pleasure to be part of this today.
All right, again, this is our opening, our complex and our clubhouse, and we're excited, right?
Yep, it's more than just a dream, it's actually a field of dreams, and Steve David, you've done really well, so I look forward to being part of this.
Well, this is all part of the dream team. We have to credit Alvin, Larry, George, everybody. So viewers, we will try to give you a whole preview, not preview, but a whole show on what actually happened here on our opening day at our sports complex and our clubhouse. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. So we discussed about doing a show called, well, we didn't name it, but we're just doing a show to give back a little bit to the football fraternity, because I don't want to be a coach. And I don't have the time to go through all the politics and all that. So I thought, what way can I give back? So I look at, as a host of some football shows, so people can know the history and they can sit at home and understand the history, because a lot of us don't like to read. We'd rather somebody tell it to us. So George and I had the discussion, and then we started with, a lot of people went through our panel, but now I've got the Dream Team panel. And the Dream Team panel, like Narada said, is George. Well, George is behind the cameras, but we have Alvin, Larry, Narada, Jefferson George, myself, and then we would invite guests and stuff. So those of you who haven't seen Field of Dreams, tune on your TV on a Monday night at 8 o'clock and go for 1 hour, 8 to 9, and if you miss it, you go on a Tuesday from 1 to 2, and you can get the repeat from that Monday night. Okay, so then, I mean, this is evolution. Think about it. So then George and I says, hey, we need to do something more. We need to brand this. We need to brand Field of Dreams. So we went on to register as a company, Field of Dreams, and then we decided we're going to put products out there. So first thing we did, other than print T-shirts, we did a ball. Look, if you look, where's the ball? Look behind your back and stuff, by your head. Everybody can see we made our own ball, and we plan to do more products. Shirts and soccer shoes, boots, and whatever, like we call it back in the day. So again, we need to continue. Life is a continuous improvement thing. So we can't just. My thing about life is, if you stop, you got to keep climbing, and there's never time to stop. Anytime you stop, it's either growth or decay. So there's no leveling. So we can't stop. So I'm not ready to stop yet. You know, from From the time I was working, and then they say retirement, and when you retire, what are you going to do? There is always something for us to do. And if I cannot contribute to society anymore, I feel like I don't need it. They can send me over to the other side of the river. I'm not ready to go there yet. Now, we, myself, Leroy Delion, Warren Archibald, all of us who left Point Fortin and played football, we did that, and then we stayed in the U.S., and we are the ones who give back to the U.S. kids, and they're coming now, and we can't even beat the U.S. anymore as a national team. So I said, why are we doing this? So I need to go back home and do something positive for our kids. So I am gradually gravitating back to home. So I come here twice, not twice a month, but once a month. I spend 2 or 3 weeks now, and I spend like a week in the U.S. and until I could fully come home. Now, and I'm looking around and for things that I can do in Trinidad, and I realized Petrotrin went under, and I drive through Clifton Hill, and I saw this place. Grass as high as this, bushes, everything, and this is falling apart. Just like it wasn't like forest. You went to forest, a big mortal tree on the middle of the ground that we used to call the Big Acre. I said, that can't happen in Point. So I said, you know what, I get pen and paper. As you guys see, I don't have anything, I'm just talking off the heart, which I like to. I don't like to write things down and talk. So I put pen and paper, and I write a proposal to the government of Trinidad and Tobago to get hold of this facility so we can continue to build the kids and the people of Point Fortin. So I'm not in this to make any money. I don't need to do. I'm going to live on the U.S. government pension now. I can do that. And whatever other business I have going, I can do that. So this is not a money-making issue for me. The only money I need to make on this is to pay my staff, the people who work here. So we need the community support to do that. So I am asking that every one of you, continue to come and patronize the facility and do all the things that, spend a couple of dollars so the staff can get paid and all of that, because right now everything is out of my pocket, but that's okay. I still give back. I give back that's my life now, to give back. And because if nobody does it, then what's going to happen to the ones coming behind? So anything, I want you to know, this is not for me, and it's just for the community. What we plan to have is not football, even though I'm an ex-footballer, still play. I still play on a Sunday, still go and get my sweat, but I need to give back. And there's a lot of things that I have in my mind that could do wonders for our children. And I am going to have an academy for you. And everything I've done so far, I don't charge. Like every year we have a camp, children's soccer camp. Used to be in Mahaica, it's going to be here. I do the All-Star game, the secondary school's All-Star game, which we do. Again, another means of giving back. But there is so much more. So I don't want this to be just football. It's going to be football, basketball, netball, cricket, rugby, swimming, you name it. Ballroom dancing for some of you guys who want to. Aerobics. everything that we want to do. And I am also going to continue to see if we can build this facility into something spectacular. So don't feel if we don't have the indoor facility for indoor football, we're not going to get it. We will. It's going to come. It's going to happen. Because I am going to go to whoever in the government or whoever I need to go to help support whatever efforts that we're trying to do. So I need your support. Without you, there's no me. So I need every single body to support whatever venture we're doing to try to build a facility. It's point now, but in extension, it's going to be entire Trinidad. We're going to try to do a lot of women football because we don't have a women football team in Point. Why? So that's one of my goals, to make sure start developing women football. When we grew up, we had a team called Shell Coles that Doyle Griffith coached. I'm going to try to bring a youth team, look at this high, and we bring them right up. And because all of us who was in that squad, guess what? We all became national players. You name it. Warren Archibald, Leroy Dillion, Monty Douglas, Tony Douglas, Leo Brewster. I could continue, naming all kind of names. And everybody went through the national team, and a lot of us turned professional. When we played for the team that got robbed in Haiti, we had 9 guys from Point Fortin. Now our national team has what? 1, 2, maybe? That has to change. I cannot sit and see that change and see that don't change. And I always say, my generation dropped the ball. So it's me and Leroy and Wilfred and Monty and they. We didn't give back enough to our community. And I always tell them that. We have to come together and give back, because when we were growing up, we had Doyle Griffith, Roy Hackett, all of these people giving us, nurturing us, bringing us, making us better footballers. And then we rule Trinidad and Tobago. I talked to Alvin Henderson. I talked to Ian Bain, the guys in Port of Spain. And they said, you guys set the standard. That we used to get up, they said they start getting up early and trying to match, to meet out what we set. Because we set the bar very high. And you guys know that. We had Point proud. And now everybody walking into Point Fortin and beating us. That has to stop. That has to stop. And we have to do better. And I am going to do whatever I can to make that happen. So pass the word. Bring your kids out. Get them involved in the football. As long as we're not going to charge, as long as maybe expense for something we might, but it's going to be a lot of volunteer stuff. If they ask you to pay something, well, okay. But I doubt you're going to have to, if we can generate the sponsors and the different people to assist us, right? So I want to make sure that you guys understand that this is not for me to get rich. I don't need to get rich. I am not going to be rich. It's for our community to build. And I am open to suggestions, and tell me, and I'm going to be in this full 100%. If I have to travel, that's okay. I am going to be in this. So give me your suggestions and things we can do, and a lot of people is doing it, and a lot of people say, oh great, we're bringing back ballroom dancing, we're bringing back aerobics, we're bringing back this, we're bringing back the facility. Yes, we are. So I need your support, and I need you guys to encourage others. The business plan is really membership, but I look around in Point Fortin, Trimmer went down, Petrotrin went down, nobody has money. So to do membership, it would be very difficult. So, but we might try it, and I'm going to go to people like Atlantic or other companies and say, take membership out for your team, your employees or something like that. But individual membership, it'd be very difficult. And I don't want to strain anybody's pocket to do things that they can't. So we just got to come together as one group, as a family, and make this happen. All right? So we have a game this evening. At 5 o'clock, we can go over there and watch it. If you guys want to tour the facility, we can do that. Also, we have a pool over there that is not operational yet, but it will be, because there's issues that was going on with the pool that Petrotrin or Trimmer just drop it, and they just leave it, let it dry up. So now we're trying to bring it back. If it means that I have to bypass all those old lines underground and bring new lines, that's what I have to do. That's what we're going to do. We have the swimming pool. We have 3 tennis courts. We can take one of those and make it turn into a netball court. We have a basketball court. We have a football field that we can play rugby on it. We can do a lot of things. We have a big space in that pool area where we can do a lot of stuff. So I'm going to continue to work on these things. I need you guys to help us get the word out and encourage people to make this happen for us. It's we in this together, right? Okay, so I don't want to take up too much of your time because we have some other people want to talk, but anytime you want to see me and you come up in the club and we can sit down and we can talk and we can socialize and I can hear all your ideas and I will let you know what mine are, and occasionally I would have a little forum where I can talk to the people and they can understand what I want to do, and I'm going to give you ideas because my life is always looking ahead. I always look at the road ahead of me since I've been, for whatever reason I did that. I always look at the players ahead of me. I always look at who did what. I tell you one thing for sure. I joined the police service, and then there was a lot of police guys who used to leave the police service and go sell insurance. And then after a few months or a year or so, they're on the streets doing nothing. And I say, I don't ever want to do that. When I got an offer to play professional football, I went to Senior Soup Peters, Mr. Peters, Senior Soup Peters, and I said, I have 3 contract offers. I don't want to leave the police service because I don't want to go out there and play for 1 year or 2 years and then have to come back home without a job because I didn't know how good I was. And I wasn't going to chance it. He says, go. If you don't like it, come back. I have a job here waiting for you. I said, okay. That was my encouragement. And after that, the rest is history, right? Of course. We went on and do a lot of better things. And here I am, with wins a lot of goal scoring titles and this and that and the other. So that's where we're at. Thank you guys for being here this evening. Thank you.
So you heard it from the man, the legend himself, Mr. Steve David. And continuing on what he spoke about, the different phases of the facility, today we more or less would be seeing or using what we would consider phase 1, which would be the sports club, bar facility, as well as the football field, which would then lead on to probably a phase 2 or 3 in the future. And one of the things or the areas that we would like to touch on is the swimming area. And today we have a special invitee to speak with us a bit, to share some words, Ms. Sheila Lamarelle Lyons, who is the 2nd Vice President of the Amateur Swimming Association, CEO of Active Sports Management Group, the founder of the Point 14 Active Sports Foundation, Seniors Foundation, mother of 3 national athletes, so Woman Power, Future is Female, another initiative that the sport realm seems to be going with, as well as the president of the TTOC Sports Administrator. So I would like to invite you to share a few words with us today. Thank you.
Field of dreams. People, we are not dreaming, it is real. Mr. David, hats off. Congrats, I'm excited. I'm indeed very excited because I'm sitting here with a gentleman with a lot of vision. And you know, someone who has vision, it means that they're thinking about everybody. Someone with vision, which means they're visualizing it as a whole. And indeed, as an advocate for sport, I have studied sport, and I'm really excited. I'm excited because it is privately owned and not government, because that's a big key back. I just want to say, when I left, I work in the corporate world for over 22 years, and when I left the corporate world, and I took up the responsibility as the manager of Point Forte Community Swimming Pool, people thought I was crazy. Even my children thought I was crazy. But I felt self-actualized to a point, and I am a firm believer that sport can change the world. So I thought, what a good way to do it and work within a community. So Mr. David, we are on the same page, basically giving back. I'm also the mother of 3 national swimmers. I have traveled the universe quite a bit with national teams at different levels. But what I want to focus on is really this Field of Dreams idea. I don't know if you're realizing, but I'm real happy because someone is making a dream come true, and it's a reality. I like the fact that he's incorporating all the different sports as part of the whole idea. I can say you have my support as president of the TTOC Sports Administrators Alumni. Just yesterday we were at a meeting and we were saying that we want to go out to the communities and help build community sports and do a lot of volunteer work. So you have my back with my team. With regards to your swimming pool, well, what I can say, having had the president of the Pool and Spa Association of Americas in Trinidad some time ago, we did visit that community. So we did visit that Petrotrin pool, and I can just advise you one time, you had to start all over, because it was a lot of ancient things and a lot of old things that need to be redone. So you might as well start right over. Being a footballer, what I can also say is that it will be nice, it is nice, not it will be nice, because it is a reality, it's no longer a dream, that football and swimming go hand in hand. It's a nice way for your footballers to immerse in the pool, to help those old injuries and help build their cardiovascular, right? I just want to just congratulate you all. I mean, I could talk more than you know, but I just want to congratulate you and your Field of Dreams team. I am with you 100%. I'm involved in other sports. I saw George, I was working at Caribbean Boxing Championship, and I saw George, and he told me, Field of Dreams opening. You know, I invite you. I get excited one time because it's all sports, and what is important though, and I'm picking that up from you, that long-term athlete development is important. And so I'm excited about so many things. I look in there and I saw children dancing. It's a form of a sport. I myself just do a little thing in dancing. I hear say you'll do a little dancing up here, so I'll be here. I'm involved with, I'm the founder of Point Forte Active Seniors Foundation. We do a lot of activities. I try my best to utilize here as much as possible. I'm also the president of the Point Forte Aquadas swim team. We just recently had 4 national swimmers on the team. My husband here, Mr. Lyons, is the head coach of the team and also a national coach. And I am excited, and I really, really want to appeal to you all in this intimate settings to really take what Mr. David said and run with it, tell people about it, you know, feel a sense of pride that we were part of this. continue to tell people about it, and of course in a standard so that they would come here knowing it's something special. It is something special, and it's privately owned. So again, I would want to tell you, Mr. David, I know about taking money from your own pocket to live the life, but what I can say to that, your money you work hard for is for you and your family to enjoy yourselves. So people, we need to support this as much as possible. And we will have fun doing it, because I don't care if you don't want me, but I am on board. So do have a good evening and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Lamorelle Lyons. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest speaker to share a few words, a man of, many words, somebody that is synonymous with football youth development in Trinidad and Tobago for a number of years, somebody who has also walked the walk and talked the talk, and has spread his knowledge across the world, and presently is in the position of Trinidad and Tobago Football Association's Technical Director. And it's with great pleasure that I invite Mr. Dion Lafoucade to come and share a few words with us. Thank you.
Mr. Steve David, specially invited guests, well-wishers. On behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association, it gives me great pleasure to be here today. Let me say this also. I grew up in Carenage, and I played for St. Anthony's College, and Bernard Julian lived right next door to me, and he called me Steve David for many years, and I had no clue who Steve David was. I'll be honest with you, So actually when I did the program, I told him, I said, I didn't know who was Steve David. I didn't think I was that good. I got Player of the Year in 1987 for St. Anthony's College, and to be called Steve David, it was an honor and a privilege. And of course, doing coaching courses and meeting older players and hearing about Steve David and Leroy De Leon and all the different players, and just even sitting out there with Larry Joseph and hearing Leroy De Leon talking about experiences he had, I said to him, I got my money's worth. You're basically hearing history, living history. The authors are actually speaking to you. That in itself says a lot. Look at the type of people in this room. One of the things, for me, this is great. I have visited prison. I've been to Carrera, not as a prisoner, but as a visitor. And I've been to the other one in Tacarigua, where YTC. And it breaks my heart to see young people in jail. It breaks my heart. And if we don't do things like this and take these type of initiatives, we're going to be finding more and more kids going into those institutions. I'm talking to you, my pause is raising. Because we need to do things and encourage kids on the field. We were just talking about how kids are treated on the field. If they're not treated well and the coaches don't speak to them well, what's going to happen is that they're going to not only leave the sport or leave the field, they can most times go into a gang, and the gang leader takes anybody he or she can get. So we have to do whatever it takes. And what I'm seeing here, because when I came in and I walked around a little bit, a lot of good is going to happen out of this facility. And I love it. It's not just football, although I'm representing football now, but not just football, basketball, all the different sports that they're going to have. It's really important. When you go to the prison and you see the young prisoners, and some of them tell me, Coach, I used to play football, I want to cry. Because I'm a coach, and it means that some coach didn't see their values. Somebody was thinking about winning, not development, and not holistic development. So I think it's very, very important that we support an initiative like this. I would say, and I'm going to look to the camera, the business community, you guys are missing out on an opportunity. You are missing out on a huge opportunity. Right? For somebody like Steve and his team to decide to give back in this way. Because I know a lot of top players, and to be honest with you, a lot of them decide to go and play golf. They go and do other things. They want to, they live that lifestyle. Okay, you could say they've earned it, but they don't give back in this way when they had the influence to do it. When corporate Trinidad still wanted to align their name with them, they decided, no, just give me the best car to drive. Let me get all the ladies to hang on my shoulders and walk around the place. And not realizing something like this is worth much more. Much more. So I'm going to say again, corporate Trinidad, please get on board. This is going to be something you're doing. This is going to have a ripple effect for many, many, many years to come. And it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much.
So we heard it from Mr. Lafourcade. This is about legacy and building something that is long-term. And just as Ms. Lamarelle Lyon spoke of, long-term athlete development, but I would also add that it's a long-term people development. What we're trying to do is influence a young generation to see it from a very early age, so it becomes part of what they tend to do or want to do at a later age. That's why I say I am fortunate to be here today to see what Steve is doing. So it ensures that within the next few years, I want to achieve the same thing. We need to do it so the younger people can also see it, so that they have the same feeling. And I would like to just call Mr. George Matheson to give the vote of thanks. George.
Good afternoon. As they're saying everything, you must give thanks. But before I give the vote of thanks, I just want to mention one thing. I remember one show in particular when Dion spoke about the prison. One of the episodes at the studio with Field of Dreams was with one of the high-risk prisoners from MSP. And that day, when we did that show, you would think it was a war zone because they shut down the entire studio. Nobody could leave or come in. There were police and prison officers stationed on the top of San Fernando Hill. There was this jeeps that came down half an hour before with their siren, and the whole place was totally shut down for one entire hour because we had one of the most feared gang leaders on that program, Barry Alfonso. He's the leader of the Gambino gang. And that is one show that stands out, out of all the shows, because it shows where this show really has gone, right? So I just wanted to mention that when Dion spoke about the prison. Well, there are so many people that we really need to thank, right? And I think the first person we really need to thank is the first CEO of ACTN Studios. That's Nelson Sami. He has passed away. Because when we went to him, he with open arms, he accepted the invitation to do the program. So we want to say thanks to him. But there is so many people that we need to say thank you to from episode 1 when we started to this present time. And we also want to say thanks to you, the people who have supported Steve and supported the show over the years. We also want to say thanks to all those who have lent a hand in bringing this facility back to where it is today. Also those who did the Savannah, the ones who painted the ground, the ones who did the balloons. Everybody, we need to say thanks. And we urge you to, when you leave here, spread the word about the Field of Dreams football sporting complex. You want to see more of the show? Remember, every Monday night at 8 o'clock and 1 o'clock on Tuesday. There's also a Facebook page for Field of Dreams shows, and there is also a Field of Dreams Sporting Complex page. We also have an email address if you want to get in touch with us, fodsportingcomplex@gmail.com. Please feel free to send your ideas, whatever you input that you can give to us. Again, we want to say on behalf of Steve and the entire Field of Dreams panel committee, thank you very much. Do enjoy the rest of the day here with us, and we look forward to seeing you at more events when the other phases of the facility is open. So again, thank you very much.
Before I pray, I need to share something with you guys. I want to thank everybody who's been here. Trinidad has so many visionaries that it is at this auspicious moment that we can thank somebody of this soil to promote his culture. This isn't just about football. You know, this guy is building a multi-purpose facility to accommodate the community. It takes a visionary to do that. And I really want to thank him. A lot of people don't know how my connection with Steve. But Steve is like a brother to me. One doesn't have to be your biological family to be a brother. Like my sister here. You know, these people who have vision in Trinidad, we need to support them. Several years ago, when my brother came to me and told me what he was about to do, I was at his disposal. And I just traveled 6,000 miles to support him because we need more people like this. You know, the thing about Steve and the people of Point Fortin really have to appreciate, this guy is God sent. Nobody, very few people take money out of their pocket to support their family because he looks at it as a holistic point of view. It's not just one thing about football. This guy is about family and creating a community that is harmonious, that will benefit everybody. And I am urging all you people, they are going to be, as I say, devils. People who are contrary to progress, to fight him down. So you all have to be 100, my sister say 100%. You know, Steve is a little perfectionist too. You have to go 150% with him because that's the type of guy he is. So I'm not a comedian, but I'm going to give you a joke. A guy, an atheist, was traveling through the Red Forest in San Francisco. And he walking around, he said, man made this, Big Bang did this, Big Bang this. So all of a sudden, a polar bear confronted him. And he says, he turned around, he says, God, oh God, help me. So God said, what can I do? He said, could you change the attitude of this bear? So the bear says, fold his hands and says, thank you, O Lord, for the food I'm about to receive. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So, on that occasion, I just want to end in prayer. Yeah, could you please stand and hold somebody's hand next to you, please? Yeah. We ready? Our eternal Father, you see us, you know us. You're our haven and our refuge. None have we sought, nor will we seek, but the path of your righteousness. For in the darksome night of despair, our eyes turn out expectant and full of hope for your boundless favors. And at our dawn, our drooping souls is strengthened and refreshed by your beauty and perfection. We ask, O Lord, that you bless each family that is here. We come with supplication and thanksgiving in our hearts, thanking you for this day, thanking you for the bread of life. We ask, O Lord, that you will bless this facility and those individuals that will participate to promote our country and the future. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, so some updates. The there's an opening match to, I guess, christen the Field of Dreams Sport Complex, which would be the famous Strike Squad. And for people like me who haven't seen the Strike Squad play in reality at the time, I think I was very young, I will get the opportunity to see them today. So, Mr. Larry Joseph, I hope your team is ready. They are playing the Heineken Media Touring team, who are made up of a lot of media personnel, celebrities.
Before coming on, you were there, Corona. Corona.
Nalang ka na dyan yung looking young, eh? Old men, young faces.
Yeah, man. We're doing next half time. Yeah, wow. Watch you.
And they're off. Okay, so the first official game being played at the Field of Dreams Sporting Complex, Heineken Media Touring Team versus the 1989 Strike Squad.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. And we're gathered here for the game of your life. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I want to see you put your flags up in the air right now. Sing. I want to hear you Hey, I am a soul of the nationality fighter. We will attack. We will defend. We won't jump aside and do the end. Hear me now. We go defeat them by defeat. Feel side. We call we might. 90 minutes of red, black and white. Hear me now. Anytime you see we in the uniform, to get the victories along. Well, I'm a soul. Come on, me up. I come to shine the nationality brighter. To them who real, out on the field. Let them know the position don't see. Every tackle, every pass. Hear me now. We have them eating up the grass. We never said it would be easy. To the battle, Almighty God, I lead me. Hear me now. Anytime you see me in the uniform, to get the victories along. So I'm a soul, I will be a fool. Say when God knows I am a fighter. I'm a soul, I will be a
And there we have our first goal. 1 to the Strike Squad.
Ready for the Blessed with precision and speed, we have Dexter Lee and Russell Lagerby. Olcata is a spider breed, and Ashley Goldie, he is a sight to see. With a team like this, it is clear to me. TNT go champion in Italy. We go get him goal from the left side, goal from the right side, goal on the inside. And if they score, you know it's outside. Goal from penalty, goal straight past the goalie, goal for TNT, goal, goal, goal. Bring pride and joy to the people in this country. Pass the ball to the left, pass the ball to the right. Pass the ball, make me do it same way. We are gonna play whether night or day. Victory to the stripe for some TNT. Because we know for sure we on the road to Italy. We got the answer, no ways to put it in the net for